Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a band director's arraignment took place yesterday after being indicted for rape and other charges. And one Kentucky county continues to have water problems, making people leave for other counties where water is not orange.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:31 on August 9th. Now let's check in with Chief Forecaster Brandon Robinson for a look at your back-to-school forecast this morning. A lot of people are up going to work, but also going to school.
Hey, listen, if there's any Billy Madison fans out there, just remember, go back to school to prove to Dad that you're not a fool, okay? Exactly. All right, let's get out into the forecast this morning. A little bit of patchy fog out there. A lot of districts going back. Watch out for the school buses today. Very important thing. A little patchy fog there close to the ground at Mount Vernon there along I-75. So we're going to continue to watch some light traffic out that way. Temperatures in the 50s in Southwest Virginia, 60s for the rest of us there. Williamsburg went back to sleep on us. They were tired. They decided they were going to roll back over and go back to sleep for a few minutes. But again, their sensor is back out there, and you see a lot of 60s. Actually, Logan went back to sleep too this morning. That's all right. We'll forgive you. It's early. 60s out there across most of the region. It's just a bit of a chilly morning out there. So maybe a light jacket or a long sleeve shirt. You won't need it for long because we're heading into the 80s this afternoon. But, yep, you knew there was a but coming. Clouds will increase ahead of some rain chances tonight. Enjoy the sunshine early, though. Olivia?
All right. Thank you, Brandon. The preliminary hearing for Erica Lawson was yesterday. She is the mother arrested in connection with the death and abuse of her 17-month-old toddler in Middlesboro. WYMT's Madison Carmouche has more on where the case goes from here.
Which means that probable cause is acknowledged, and then it moves on to the grand jury, which means that officer now brings it to me. We will present it to the very next grand jury, is the hope. Which will be within the month of August.
Fugate says she is hopeful that Lawson will be presented and indicted by a grand jury.
And based upon what I know from the case and from the officers, I fully expect that grand jury to enhance the current charges. And if they do, one of those being murder, I fully intend to seek the death penalty at her arraignment.
Fugate says that the support from the Bell County community is keeping those in the justice system upbeat and involved.
It's let both the court, judges, everyone involved know that this is very important, not just to the family, but everyone, due to the age of the child and the severity of the abuse that the child suffered.
The Commonwealth's attorney says that by waiving her preliminary hearing, that does not mean Lawson will be pleading guilty. Lawson is being held on a $1 million bond at the Bell County Detention Center. We are also told there are no new developments regarding the investigation at this time. 3 people learned their sentences yesterday in connection to a Bourbon County athlete's death. Tyree Connor, Amelia Zahabi Wisdom, and Isaiah Beasley took plea deals in the death of Jacoby Wells. Wells was 21 years old when he was shot and killed in 2020. He was a well-known former student athlete in Paris.
I always think about Jacoby being pushed out of that car, and that tears me up because he was pushed out like trash and left, you know.
Connor admitted to manslaughter in his plea deal. Zahabi Wisdom admitted to facilitating murder. Beasley admitted to facilitating robbery. All 3 admitted to evidence tampering. One Harlan County man is behind bars as he faces charges for his part in a kidnapping case. It happened last week when the Harlan County Sheriff's Office received information about a woman possibly being assaulted and held against her will. After the suspect was found, deputies identified him as David Owens of Clothesplint. Following a traffic stop, deputies found the woman had bruises and red marks around her throat and face. He was taken to the Harlan County Detention Center. A former Kentucky high school band director charged with numerous sexual offenses was in a courtroom yesterday morning. Patrick Howard Brady served as band director for Anderson County. The school has won several state titles in recent years. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what happened during the court hearing in a community where the high school band is a big deal.
What is that?
Downtown Lawrenceburg, across from the Anderson County Courthouse, is the Cat Cafe. Damaris Hill helps here along with at the local library. She's only been in Lawrenceburg for a year and a half, but it didn't take long to realize how important the high school band is.
The band is an integral part of this community. It's a tight-knit group. You know, you see the kids out all summer long working hard.
Rumors started flying months ago that something was up. Then in May, band director Patrick Brady was suspended. About 2 months later, he was indicted on rape, sodomy, sexual abuse, and some other charges.
All right, Mr. Cole, we're on for arraignment. How would you like to proceed?
Brady's attorney entered a not guilty plea, then quickly asked for reductions to his bond conditions, primarily so he could see his own children.
Prosecutors did not want any changes to Brady's bond conditions whatsoever. They say that it's very important that he stay away from kids, from school grounds, and school staff. The judge sided with the prosecutor's wishes.
All right, at this time, the court is going to leave the bond the same. There will be no modifications. He is to have no contact with minor children. In addition, based upon the Commonwealth's request, there's to be no contact by Mr. Brady with any school.
Brady's attorney also asked for more time before the next court date, but again, the judge said no. She said Brady is to be back in court October 3rd. In Anderson County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Anderson County school leaders say Brady was suspended with pay on May 15th. Then a termination letter was sent to him last week. A Lexington teacher is behind bars charged on nearly 24 counts. 49-year-old Kevin Lentz was arrested this morning. Lentz is facing several counts related to sex crimes involving a minor. We are told Lentz is a teacher at Henry Clay High School. Officials with Fayette County Public Schools say Lentz has been put on administrative leave. An arrest has been made after a woman was shot in the face while driving on Interstate 75 in northern Kentucky. 20-year-old Braden Smith is charged with assault and gun possession. Police say Smith shot 19-year-old Skylar Onisha. They say he was a backseat passenger in Onisha's car. The Kenton County Commonwealth's attorney says Smith was playing with a gun in the back seat when he shot her. Onisha was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. One woman is facing charges following a recent incident in Floyd County. Last weekend, Martin police and state police were called to a home in the Denwood area for an intoxicated woman threatening to set her house on fire. When officers arrived, they found 60-year-old Tammy Jeffrey hanging out of an upstairs window, screaming and cursing. Jeffrey is charged with terroristic threatening, criminal mischief, and public intoxication and was taken to the Floyd County Jail. 2 firefighters were taken to the hospital after trying to put out a fire in Rockcastle County. The Mount Vernon Fire Department says crews were called out to a fire at a home around 4 a.m. yesterday morning. The home was already destroyed when crews arrived. Fire officials say 1 firefighter was taken to the hospital by EMS to be treated for medical issues, while another went for an arm injury. We do not know the conditions of the firefighters at this time. 2 people are dead after a crash in Laurel County. It happened just yesterday afternoon about 5 miles west of London on East Laurel Road or Kentucky 80. The sheriff's office identified the victims as 30-year-old Brittany Smallwood and 30-year-old Ethan Taylor, both of London. They say the 2 were traveling in opposite directions when they hit head-on. Both vehicles burst into flames. They were the only people in the vehicles. In Harlan County, a man is accused of stealing from a dead man. Last Friday, Harlan County deputies served an indictment to Austin Barga. It's alleged that around 5 hours after the man died of natural causes, Barga burglarized his property and stole an ATV. Sheriff's deputies found the ATV the next day and opened the investigation. Barga is in jail facing burglary and receiving stolen property charges. Despite continued issues with water, Yetis community members in Leslie County are hoping to stay in the area. Folks are having to get water in jugs from other places in the county as their water continues to come out with an orange color. Scotty Shepard, who lives in Yetis, says even with the water conditions, they are doing everything they can to stay there.
I've been here all my life, right there. I just like it, it's peaceful and quiet back in here, and there ain't a lot of noise and that right there, and I just like being back in here,
Shepard says they have sent a petition to county leaders, but they still have not found any solutions. A Red River Gorge hiker is safe and dry after calling for help from the Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team. Monday night, the rescue team responded to a 911 call about a lost female hiker. Bad weather had just passed through and the area was known to be dangerous. The team was able to find her near the coordinates she had on her phone. Eventually, they hiked her out of the area using a longer route than usual because of post-storm conditions.
.642 on the money this morning, and some patchy dense fog as you head out across the region. Pikeville now starting to get in on the action. Hazard definitely even out at the airport. It's in the valleys this morning, and we're seeing anything less than 5 miles visibility. Most of it clustered from basically southwest Virginia through southeast Kentucky into east Tennessee there. So again, just be aware of that everywhere you go this morning. And Jenkins finally got that camera back online. He's going back to school today. A lot of the school systems going back to school today. I think about 20 if I counted right there for a little bit. So watch out for those school buses. Not too much traffic over that way this morning. Temperatures in the upper 50s in southwest Virginia, low to mid 60s across the rest of the region this morning. Out the door forecast, we are going to see a beautiful start to the day. Lots of sunshine, but the clouds are going to increase and the rain chances are going to come in tonight. But enjoy today. Temperatures in the mid 80s. Olivia?
Thanks, Brandon, and thank you for joining us. We're coming up on 6:43. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. NASA plans to return to the moon in 2024 to study the effects of living in deep space.